Imagine you're on vacation and, like the CBC article here says, your home gets sold while you're away and you have no idea. Thank you for watching this video. Today I'm going to talk about a lot of the sales that have recently been happening that are fraudulent. We've got people selling other people's houses while they're away on vacation and nobody has any idea that this is actually happening. So I've got the news articles right here, and this is coming directly from the CBC website, where they've kind of warned agents, sellers, everybody alike that this is currently happening. So the article here states that in most cases, the owners are actually either out of country living or they're on a vacation, and they're going to be issued this alert from their bank or somebody else letting them know, hey, your house is on the market now, which is strange, seeing as you're just on vacation and you're not actually selling your house. So let's dig a little bit further into it here. One of the statements, a 93-year-old uncle, he had his home nearly sold from under him a year ago when the alleged fraudsters posted as renters to get access to his home in the beaches in Toronto. And once they were there as renters, they then pretended that they were actually the owners of the house, hired an agent who is probably a registered agent, but who is working with these fraudsters here and helping them to actually sell the house and make some money out of this. And they're not actually the owners. So there's two specific cases here that the CBC News reports on, one of which the house was actually sold in the 11th hour. The deal was finally pulled and there was a spelling mistake on the paperwork. So thank God there was actually a spelling mistake on the paperwork, and the fake ID was allegedly used by the tenants who rented the home, and they pretended that they were the actual home owners. Freaky as all could be. If you are putting a tenant in your house, you have to be very careful right now. You've always had to be careful, but there's so many more things that we have to worry about now that we never ever had to consider before. So let's keep going here. They've actually provided false credit scores, job references. They submitted them all to the realtor who is actually going to sell the house. So they provided fraudulent documents to a realtor, potentially myself, let's say. I'm meeting with the homeowner, provided them everything that I am the owner, in fact. Now, on the realtor side of things, we do have access to see who owns that house. And if the agent did not go and dig into that, that is where this issue is going to pop up. The agent would have been able to tell pretty quickly whether or not these guys were the owners, unless their paperwork lined up with the ownership that showed on our access. Okay, let's continue. There are some legal consequences here for those who don't verify the ID properly, including a fine of $50,000 and a suspension of our license. So they're leaving this partially on the agent's shoulders, whether or not they would have had any means to detect whether these documents are fraudulent. I'm not sure. If you gave 100 agents the same scenario, how many of them would come out on top in this case, but let's see what else the article says here. So the Real Estate Council of Ontario is saying here that if you're a homeowner, you should be able to answer some of these questions that the agent's going to ask you, like the age of the furnace, how old your roof is, your property tax, and some of the other things that a homeowner might know. However, I've got a lot of clients who I ask how old their furnace is, how old their roof is, what are their property taxes, and they have no idea. So then they actually have to dig into their online portals, find out when things were purchased. Maybe they bought the property and this stuff was done prior, and they don't have any documentation or paperwork. So it's not a foolproof system that the Real Estate Council is suggesting that we go through with. All in all, this article is putting a lot of the blame on agents themselves. So be cautious. If you are an agent, take a look at all the paperwork that you're getting from these potential sellers. Check for spelling, check for all sorts of things, because you do not want to be in a position where you are inadvertently selling somebody's house who is pretending to be somebody that they're not. Get as much information as you can from the homeowners. Make sure that you ask them the questions that you think are going to be able to stump somebody who's not the actual owner. And at the end of the day, you need to be cautious with anything that you're doing as an agent right now. This is just one news article, but this has been happening for quite some time right now. There's a lot of homes that have been sold or almost sold by the renter who does not even own the property. So we need to be very careful. There's a lot of fraud out there. People are trying to pull quick ones over on other people with your hard-earned money and your biggest asset, that is your house. There's so many news articles out there. This is one that I thought was interesting, and I've been seeing it time and time again. If you like this kind of content where I'm talking about a news article and breaking it down further for you, then hit that like button, share the video with people that you think might be interested in some of the craziness that's happening in Toronto, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.